Good evening, everyone. Let's crack JEE in English. So we'll be covering quadratic equation today, and so let me just tell you, what all topics are we going to cover in this quadratic equation chapter. So we'll be covering polynomial equations and its factor form. We'll be also covering remainder theorem, quadratic function and its geometrical interpretation, roots of quadratic equation. And let me introduce myself, whosoever is new. So hi, I'm Nishant Khanduja. So I graduated and post-graduated from IIT Bombay in 2014, and post that I traded in US and Canadian markets for 2 years, and my rank was 1256 in IIT. In AIEEE it was 363, and Rajasthan pre-engineering test it was all India rank 4. And apart from this, let me tell you an interesting fact about me. That is, when I was preparing for IIT, I didn't join any coaching institute, and that became one of the main reason I joined Unacademy. The reason is very simple. I just wanted to share the knowledge, share the experience what I gained in 2008 to 9 when I was preparing for JEE. That if you are at home, if you have not gone to any coaching institute, bigger coaching institute like Bansal, Ellen, or maybe institutes there in Hyderabad like Rao. So in these Narayana, when you don't go to these big institutes, but still you have to prepare. So how exactly you can prepare? So I wanted to share this experience with all the students, those who are there in India, sitting in tier 3, tier 4, or maybe villages. I just want them to just be there. It's okay. You don't need to just, crib about this. No, you just need to study. That's it. So I just wanted to share all these things with them. Hi, Adya. Good evening. So this is India's largest campaign, that is Crack IIT JEE, and this is being run by Unacademy, and we have got a lot of good faculties like Manoj Chauhan sir, Prashant Jain sir, Namokal sir, your NKC sir. So all these big names are there on this platform. You just need to be there at your home and feel relaxed and study. That's it. So this is our single main motto, and we all are focusing on this. So what you need to do is just to learn all these fundas. You just need to simply install Unacademy Learning app. Once you install that, you need to just subscribe 2 packages. Either of them you can subscribe. You can subscribe plus subscription, or you can subscribe your iconic subscription. In plus subscription, you get daily live classes, you have live tests and quizzes, structured courses, and unlimited access to the videos. So if at all you miss any video, you can just go back and watch the video, and you can revise it as many times as you want. Whereas in iconic, apart from these facilities, you get 3 extra facilities. Those are, you get personal coach. That personal coach is very important. You talk about Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar. If you remember, Sachin used to always say that his teacher was Acharekar sir. So this person, Acharekar sir, he was a personal coach to Sachin Tendulkar. So Sachin used to study from all these coaches what India used to hire, but this personal coach was always there because this person constantly looks at your progress. He would tell you, where exactly you need to change yourself. He would try to make you introspect yourself. So that's what he does. We have also got study planner for yourself. We also have test analysis report after every test. You can just see where exactly you are lacking, where exactly you need to work upon. So you can just see your shortcomings. You can just reduce the negative marking. We know your strength is giving you 100% results, but your shortcomings are bringing the score down because you are committing mistakes. So we would like to reduce those mistakes so that you can score better and you can get better rank. And all these things you can just subscribe, and what you need to do is you get options for, let's say, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 2 years. Trust me guys, if you are determined that you have to crack IIT and you are not going to change your teacher, then go for 2 years subscription, because it is cheaper. First of all, it turns out to be 2,333 rupees per month. When you apply my code, it becomes 50,400 rupees. So it's a very nominal amount. Whereas if you want to go for a 1 year subscription, that is specifically for 12th class students or people those who are dropping a year, and they can buy this subscription, and that would cost you 34,650 rupees. And if people are skeptical how it is going to be, you don't have any experience, it's okay guys, it's okay. I do understand, because I was also at one point of time, I was also a student. So what you can do is you can just go for a quarterly subscription, because once you get the experience, once you get the hang of the application, just go ahead. And yes, plus classes are also there, special classes I conduct there, so you can just come there, have a look at the experience, feel. And for iconic subscription, this 2 year subscription costs you 86,000. Once you apply my code, it becomes 77,400 rupees. Okay, so let's start our class. But as you always remember, before starting our class, what we do, we meditate every day. So I want all of you to just leave all the distraction behind and concentrate in the class. So when I say one, I want all of you to just close your eyes. And the moment I say one, inhale. Exhale. Exhale. Now when I say one and pause, that I would say hold. So hold your breath. When I say 2, 3, 4, so gradually release your breath. 1, hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. 1, hold your breath. Just focus on your breath. That's it. Nothing else. 2, 3, 4. 1, hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Now when I say 1, 2, 3, so gradually I want you to inhale, then hold your breath. When I say 4, exhale in one go. 1, 2, 3, hold your breath. Just focus on your breath. That's it. Don't worry about pressure, any competitiveness. No, nothing. We're just there to learn. That's it. That is our main motto. Don't worry about the result. We just need to do our karmas. That's it. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath. 4. Now this time we'll just inhale and we'll exhale while chanting Om. Let's do it once again. Just rub your palms and gradually open your eyes. Okay, so I hope all of you are feeling energetic and all concentrated, focusing just to learn quadratic equation. Let's start. So first thing is polynomial function. So if you remember when I was teaching you functions, so we spoke about polynomial function. So this polynomial function is written as an into x raised to n plus an minus 1 into x raised to n minus 1, and keep continue till a1x plus a naught. And here this an minus 1, a1, a naught, so all these are coefficients of these x terms, and these are real numbers, or so these are called, so this is when we say these coefficients are real numbers, so that means this is called real polynomial function. But when you go to higher classes, you see these coefficients are not the function of x. That's it, this is what they write. So this is your polynomial function, and how we read it, so this n is called the degree of the polynomial, the maximum power, degree of the polynomial, and based on that we define polynomial functions like fifth order polynomial function. When n is equal to 4, we call it biquadratic, then cubic, quadratic, linear. And make sure when we name like fifth order, so we have to make sure that the highest power coefficient should not be equal to 0. So here your an can't be equal to 0, because if it becomes 0, your highest order term would vanish, and it should not happen. So an cannot be equal to 0, so that's how we call it what? Polynomial function. Now what is called polynomial equation? It's very simple. Equation, if you just look at the word equation, when we equate this to something, when this expression is being equated to something, it becomes an equation. That's it. So let's say we equated this to 0. Now this became an equation. Clear? So every equation has n roots. So what does that mean? So whatever the degree is, you will have the same number of roots. So if n degree polynomial is there, that means you'll have n roots. Clear? Now let's talk about roots and solution set. So when we talk about roots and solution set, what exactly we mean? So these are two words, roots and solution set, and I have found many students they can't tell the difference between roots and solution set. So any guesses? Any guesses? How can you define roots and solution set? I'll tell you. So roots is basically the values of x, and the values of x which satisfy this polynomial equation. So these values are called roots. So I can write values which satisfy f of x is equal to 0. These are called roots. Whereas solution set is values of x in the domain which satisfy f of x is equal to 0. Those values are called solution set. So it is pretty much clear that roots, so number of roots will always be more than solution set. Clear? Okay, so let's move ahead. And hi Shivam. Shivam, don't worry about this video size. I'll increase the video in the next class. If you have any doubt, you can just ask me. Okay, let's move ahead. So now this polynomial function can be written in terms of factors of its roots. So how do we write this? So let's say this equation, this polynomial equation has roots, n roots, like alpha 1, alpha 2 till alpha n. So we can write this polynomial equation like this: x minus alpha 1 into x minus alpha 2 into x minus alpha 3 till x minus alpha n. All these roots could be real or imaginary. We don't need to worry about it. We just need to worry about the roots, and we have to multiply with an. The reason is very simple, because see, when you will multiply all these terms, you will get what? X raised to n only. But when you compare it with the polynomial equation, the exact polynomial equation, you should have this coefficient equal. Once you multiply with this, what do you see? All the other coefficients, they'll manage themselves. Okay, so this is called what? Your factor form of polynomial equation. And why it is helpful? The reason is very simple, because when we have you can say when we have roots, so we can write in terms of factors, and that helps us to divide and see where exactly it is becoming 0 while solving questions also. Now let's talk about remainder theorem. So it's very easy what we have studied in 9th and 10th. We have a divisor. When we divide a number with a divisor, we get a quotient and we also get a remainder. So we can write this like any function f of x can be written as divisor into quotient plus remainder. For an example, let's say you have a number x cube plus 6x square plus 10x plus 3, and let's say this is being divided by x minus 2 for sake. Now you want to write in terms of divisor, quotient and remainder. So how would you do that? So you will just multiply with this first, x square. What do you get? X square minus 2x square. So minus 2x square you have, but what you need to get is 8x square. So how can you get this 6x square? You have to multiply with 8x. When you multiply with 8x, it becomes 8x square. Already we have what? Minus 2x square. It eventually becomes 6x square minus 16x. But what do you need to get it? 10x. So how can we make it? We have to multiply with 26. When you multiply with 26, you get 26x. Now already we have minus 16x. Eventually it will become 10x minus 52. And we have left over as 3. So how can we make 3? And when we have minus 52, we have to add by 55. That's it. So this is your remainder, this is your quotient, and this is your divisor. Sorted. That's it. It's a very simple rule of what we used to study in 9th and 10th. Let's say you can have a simple number like 17. When you divide this 17 by 8, what do you see? 8 as divisor, quotient as 2, and remainder is your 1. That's it. Here. I hope everything is clear to you guys. If you have any doubt, you can just drop a comment. Let's move ahead. Oh, so we have got our first question, a first learning hurdle. Okay, so the question says a polynomial in x of degree 3 vanishes. So let's look at the given information. A polynomial in x of degree 3 vanishes when x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 2. Vanishes means what? It becomes 0. So that means x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 2. Both are roots for this third order polynomial equation. So we have got these are the roots. So this is the given information to us. And it also tells us it has the values 4 and 28 when x is equal to minus 1 and x is equal to 2 respectively. Then we have to find the value of polynomial when x is equal to 0. Okay. Now tell me, how would you like to do this question? So now, as you can see, instead of writing as it says 3-degree polynomial, see, you can write it like this also. I know. But tell me one thing, guys. So you are introducing 4 variables. Would you like to introduce 4 variables, honestly? And solve the question, because see, you have got 4 conditions. Let's say 1, this is root, this is also the root, and we have also got values at minus 1 and 2. So you will get what? You will get 4 linear equations, and you want to solve them. Then I would suggest no, because see, it's a very lengthy approach. Why to do that? But we have to become smart. So how can we become smart? Because in these competitive examinations, we have to save our times. So what we can do is, this cubic expression can be written as divisor and remainder thing. Correct? So what I can do is, I can write it like this. When I'm writing it like as a factor form. So in factor form, how can I write it? X minus 1, x plus 2. Now let's have the third root. So x minus, let's say, alpha 3, third root. And if you remember, I told you one thing very clearly, that you have to make sure you're going to put what? an, and this is what? A3, because it is what? Cubic equation, correct? Now let's go ahead. So this is our cubic equation. Let's go ahead. So when I put, so let's play with, now as you can see in this cubic equation, how many unknowns I have? 1 and 2. See, instead of dealing with 4 unknowns, I'm dealing with 2 unknowns. Life is simpler here. I'll use this. So that's how I want you to, make your decisions, smart decisions. I always say smart decisions, because then only you can save your time in the examination. And I want you to explore all these things, all these methods, all these ways before sitting for the examination. Because if your base is strong, because I would not like you to just go and randomly solve questions and waste your time, though you are getting the answer, but unnecessarily you are consuming the time of other question, which should not happen. You have to become smart, then only you can just do it. Okay, so you have got 2 unknowns. So let's put c of minus 1. When we put c of minus 1, so it becomes what? It gives us 4. So a3 minus 1 and minus 1 2, so it becomes 1, and minus 1 minus alpha 3. So eventually what do we get? 4 is equal to a3, and it is what? Minus 2. Minus 2 minus will take common, so we get 2, and 1 plus alpha 3. So eventually I'll get what? a3 into 1 plus alpha 3 will be equal to what? 2. So let's say this is equation number 1. We'll do the same thing for x is equal to 2. X is equal to 2, what do I get? I get 28 is equal to what? a3, and this is 1 4 times, and this is what? 2 minus alpha 3. So this can be further written as 7. So 7 is equal to a3 2 minus alpha 3, equation number 2. So now I have 2 equations and 2 unknowns. I can solve it. So what I can do is I can just divide, let's say, equation number 2 in equation number 1. When I do that, so I get what? 1 plus alpha 3 upon 2 minus alpha 3 will be equal to what? So I'll just interchange. So I'll make this as left hand side, and I'll make this as right hand side, 7. So 1 plus alpha 3 upon 2 minus alpha 3, it would be 2 by 7. When I solve it, what do I get? 7 plus 7 alpha 3 is equal to 4 times twice of alpha 3. So it becomes 3 is equal to minus 9 alpha 3. My alpha 3 is what? Minus 1 by 3. So I got 1/3 root here. And when I put alpha is equal to minus 3, what do I get? So 2 by 3, 2 will cancel out. So a3 would be what? 3 here. Here. So I've got a3 and alpha 3. So my cubic would become what? My cubic expression will be written as price of x minus 1, x plus 2, and x plus 1 by 3. Now when I put 0, what do I get? So c of 0 would be what? Minus 1, 2, and 1 by 3. So this will cancel out, and eventually I get what? Minus of 2. That's it. Yeah. Any doubts? Adya says answer is minus 2. Yes, Adya, answer is minus 2. Absolutely right. Yes, I'm happy. Yes, you could solve the question way before us. That's really good. I hope everyone got the question. If you have any doubt, you can just ask. Let's solve another question. In this question, we have got an expression. This is what? 4th order expression. And it has remainder 4x plus 3. When divided by x square plus x minus 2, then we have to find the value of a and b. Okay, let's start. So this 4th order polynomial expression can be written as like this. this thing can be written as, since we have been given a divisor, so I can write it like this: x square plus x, this is my quotient, and plus my remainder. Now if you think that you are going to shift it here, this 4x minus 3, then you will be dividing by this divisor, and then maybe you'll get the quotient's value. But trust me guys, you'll not be able to do it. So there is something extra in this question, so we have to figure out, because see, this is the only information they have given us, so we have to play smart. So now let's analyze everything. So when you analyze this divisor, what do you see? That if you want to factorize this, how can you write it? You can write it like this: x plus 2 into x minus 1. Yes or no? Because this minus 2 and 1 are the roots for this equation. Clear? Okay. Now 4x plus 3. Now see one thing. If this is an identity, and if I put, let's say, x is equal to minus 2 and x is equal to 1, what will happen? This quotient term, which is unknown to us, this will become 0, and we'll get two different equations in a and b. Since a and b are two unknowns, we can just solve them and get the answer, right? Let's go ahead. So at x is equal to minus 2, what do I see? I see 16a minus 8b and minus 4, and this is plus this is minus 4 plus 3 is equal to, this becomes 0, minus 8 plus 3. So this will cancel out, correct? So what do I see? I see that 16a minus 8b is equal to 0. I can take 8 common, so it becomes twice of a is equal to b. Here, now let's go for another case where when I have to put x is equal to 1. When I put x is equal to 1, what do I see? I get a plus b minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to what? Again it becomes 0, this quotient term, and I get 4 plus 3. So 3 will cancel out. What do I have? This becomes what? It becomes 1, so it becomes 3. So a plus b is equal to 3. So when I solve these two equations, I get a is equal to, I put directly b's value, and I get what? A is equal to 1, whereas my b is equal to 2. So these are the values for a and b, and we solved our question. Got it? That's really good. A is equal to 1 and b is equal to 2. Great. Let's move to our next question. Okay. But before that, I'll be covering a few basics. So what is quadratic function and equation? So when n, your degree in polynomial, it becomes 2, we get quadratic equation and function. So this is your quadratic function, this is a standard form, and when we equate this to 0, it becomes what? Quadratic equation. And here a, b and c, these are real and imaginary numbers, and make sure that a doesn't become 0, because otherwise it will become what? Linear function or equation. Clear? Now let's look at the geometrical meaning of this quadratic function. Now if you remember, in a previous chapter when we were covering functions, I told you that this represents a parabola. But my question is, how can you say that it is a parabola? Can you show me that it would look like a parabola? Okay, any guesses? Okay, so let's do one thing. What I'll do is I'll try to just manipulate this term so that you can understand how it represents a parabola. Let's think like someone who is doing it the very first time. He doesn't know how would it look like, but he is doing it because he wants to draw it. So this y is equal to what? Ax square plus bx plus c. And this thing, I know you guys have done this thing maybe in a 9th or 10th standard, if you remember. I'm using perfect square method. So I'll be dividing both the sides by a. So it becomes what? Like this. Now to make it a perfect square, what do I need to do? The coefficient of x should be divided by 2 and we have to add the right hand side with its square and subtract with its square. So when I do that, so what do I get? Y by a, let's say I'll add and subtract by x coefficients half square. So b square by 4a square, c by a minus b square by 4a square. Clear? Now I can rewrite this as what? X plus b by 2a whole square plus 4ac minus b square upon 4a square. Clear? Now when you take this to the left hand side, it becomes y by a minus b square minus 4ac upon 4a square is equal to x plus b by 2a square. Okay. Now just see this, because this is a what? Linear term. Let's say linear in y. If let's say I replace this with capital Y and this is a linear term in x, if I replace with capital X, what do I see? I see y is equal to x square. If you remember, this y is equal to x square, this represents a parabola. When it represents a parabola and here single power is there in y, so that means it will be opening its mouth towards y-axis. Now it could be towards positive or could be towards negative y-axis. So that depends upon one factor which I'll be talking about. So it will be what? It will be somewhat like this. Here. Now the question comes, how can we determine its vertex when it is a parabola? The vertex can be defined very easily. What we can do is, we just simply, because as I told you, what we need to do is, we just need to look at it as standard form, like y is equal to x square. So when you look at like y is equal to x square, so you just need to equate this x2, because for this case the vertex was 0, 0. So to find the vertex for this, your general form, what you need to do is you need to just equate this to 0. So when you equate x plus b by 2a to 0, what do you get? X is equal to minus b by 2a. So this becomes your vertex. So this is the x coordinate of your vertex. Similarly, you have to equate this y to 0. When you equate this y to 0, what do you get? You get minus b square minus 4ac. So I'll just rewrite it here. Minus b square minus 4ac upon 4a. And this thing, b square minus 4ac, this is called the discriminant of quadratic equation. Here. Now, when I was telling you that this concave upward and concave downward of the parabola, it depends upon one coefficient, one factor, that is your coefficient of x square. If this coefficient of x square is more than 0, then we have concave upward thing. If coefficient of x square is lesser than 0, then we have concave downward thing. Clear? So till here you have understood the quadratic function's geometrical meaning. Now let's talk about quadratic equations. Let's try to understand the meaning of this quadratic equation. So this is what? This is your f of x, the quadratic expression. Now when we equate this to some value, let's say in this case I have equated this to 0. When I have equated this to 0, what does that mean? That means I have to find the value of x where this quadratic function becomes 0, or you can say where it is cutting the x-axis. So these values are called the roots of the quadratic equation. Clear? So all the geometrical meanings are clear. If let's say x is equal to this, f of x is not equal to 0, it is let's say some equal to a constant. So what you'll do is you will just draw a line y is equal to k, and wherever you see that it is cutting the function, so at these values you get the root of that quadratic equation. F of x is equal to k. Clear? Any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can just leave a comment. Okay, let's move forward. When we're talking about quadratic equations roots, so we can also find out their values in terms of coefficients. So as you can see here, to make it an equation, what I did, I just equated y to a 0. So as you know that till here we have just used the perfect square method. Now you can just simply make y as 0. The moment you make y as 0, what do you see? You see this term, b square minus 4ac upon 4a square is equal to x plus b by 2a whole square. You can just take the square root, it would become what? Plus minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and you can take this towards left hand side, so you get this as x, and you must have seen it like this, minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Okay. As I told you in the beginning also that this thing is called the discriminant, and this discriminant determines what sort of roots are we going to have. Let's talk about them. If let's say this discriminant is greater than 0, so square root of a positive number, that is possible. So we'll get two options. Sometimes it could be perfect square and it could not be perfect square. If it is a perfect square, if your discriminant is a perfect square, what we'll get? We'll get real and rational roots. It's a discriminant is perfect square. Okay. If it is not a perfect square, we'll get irrational roots. Here, if let's say d is equal to 0, so this discriminant would become 0. Eventually you'll have only one root. Now what does that mean? How is it possible that a quadratic equation is having only one root? So I'll just clarify this. See, if you just look at the graph, we have this case when we are having two roots. Just imagine if you have this sort of case, when your quadratic function is touching the x-axis. So in that case, what happens? Both the roots are coinciding. You have two roots, but both the roots are coinciding. So that case, we have exactly what? One root. Exactly one root. Here. Now just imagine if you have exactly one real root. If discriminant is lesser than 0, then what happens? Then square root of a negative number is not possible. This is not a real thing. So we get what? 2 conjugate imaginary roots. Here, or irrational. So one more thing I would like to incorporate here, that irrational roots are conjugate to each other. Okay, and what else I would like to share with you guys? Okay, 2 conjugate imaginary roots are there. Okay, one more thing. So this imaginary thing, so how exactly we write these imaginary roots? So minus b plus 2a. I know this discriminant is b square minus 4 is what? Lesser than 0. So what I'll do is I'll take minus sign common. So I have root minus 1 and root, then I have 4ac minus b square. This root minus 1 is being written as iota. If you just square it, what do you see? You get minus 1. If you just take a cube, you get minus 1 into iota, minus iota. Iota raised to 4, you get 1. If you have any doubt, yes, you can just drop a comment. I'll clarify your doubts for this slide. And yes, one more thing I would like to share with you guys. Every quadratic equation has two roots. So whatever the degree is, we'll have equal number of roots. But just imagine if at all we get more than two roots. So what does that mean? That clearly means that this equation is satisfied for all the values of x that belongs to real number. So we can say this equation becomes an identity. Clear? So remember this fact also. And this is true for all the nth order polynomials as well. If at all they are having, let's say, more than n roots, that means that nth order polynomial will also become an identity. Let's move ahead. Okay, so we have got another question. So we have to find the roots of the graph y is equal to x square minus 2x plus 3 and y is equal to sin x. And it's a very simple question. You can just take a few knowledge from functions chapter, what we studied lately, and you can just tell me how many roots and what are the values for those roots are. And your time starts now. I give you guys 30 seconds to solve this question. Shivam, if you have any doubt, you can ask, and you also try to solve this question. See, to draw a parabola, what do you need? You just need where it is going to open its mouth. What I mean to say is whether it is going to be concave upward or downward, one, and you also need a vertex. That's it, correct? So I guess I have told you how to calculate the vertex. If you need any help, I can just go back and I can show you what are the coordinates of vertex. Minus b by 2a and minus b square, this is a bracket, minus b square minus 4ac upon 4a. Come on guys, let's solve this question. Find the roots. Okay. So when we solve this question, so if you remember in the previous chapter also I shared this knowledge with you, that whenever we have to find the roots of different functions, what I mean to say is, as you can see, this is an algebraic function and this is a trigonometric function. There is no mathematics till 12th, I'm pretty much sure that there is no mathematics where you can solve trigonometric with algebra, logarithmic with the trigonometric with inverse, trigonometric with exponential. So there is no maths available by which you can solve these sort of equations. So what you need to do is you simply need to draw graphs, different graphs, and you can solve this question. So let's draw the graph of first y is equal to sin x, which is very simple for you, I know. So this is your 0, this is your pi, and this is your twice of pi, and here it is minus pi. Okay, now I'll use a different color for the quadratic. That's red. Okay, and the maximum value I know it is 1, and the minimum value here I know minus 1. Let's try to draw this. Now when you're drawing it, it is pretty much clear. As you can see, it is a positive coefficient of x square. That means concave upward for sure. Let's check the coordinates of the vertex. So x will be what? Minus b by 2a. So as you can see, it will be what? Twice of 2 upon 2a, which is 1. So we'll get 1 only. And when I see its y coordinate, that would be what? B square, which is your 4, minus 4ac, and that is your what? 12 upon 4a. And what do I get? I get minus 8, it becomes plus 8, plus 8 upon 4, 2. So 1 and 2. So 1 would be somewhere around here, and at 2. So this would be my vertex, and from here it will go upward. Like this. Clear? This is my y is equal to x square minus 2x plus 3. As you can see that this red and green curve, they are not intersecting with each other. That clearly means that there is not going to be any value of x for which these two graphs will intersect each other, or you can say they will satisfy each other. Clear? So I can clearly say 0 roots. Got it? Let's go ahead and let's solve another question. Solve the equation 5x square minus x plus 12 times, so 12 raised to x square minus x is equal to 169. It's a very small, very easy question though, but it again, all the questions also, whatever questions I'm giving you, I'm not giving you questions where you just need to see and start solving it. You just need to sit. Let's think for 30 seconds. It's okay. Think, then start using your pen and use 1 or 2 steps and your question is done. That's it. Just see this question and see how exactly you can solve this algebraic question. Adya, Shivam, if you guys have any doubts, yes, you're free to ask. Okay, so when you try to solve this question, the catch in this question, that is, look at 169. What is this? 169 is 13 square. Now just look at these terms, 5, 12 and 13. How are they related? I guess you must have seen that 5 square, while just solving questions in trigonometry, Pythagoras theorem questions, 5 square plus 12 square is equal to what? 13 square, correct? So this is the only possible case where they can be equal. This 5 power, 12's power, and both are being added up and they are becoming equal to 13's power. So this is the only possible case. So what does that mean? That clearly means that these power, which are equal powers, they have to be equal to what? 2. That's it. So when we make them equal to 2, what do we get? Let's try solving the question. And you see what? X square minus twice of x plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So you'll get x minus 2 and you'll get x plus 1 is equal to 0. So your x is 2 or minus 1. And you can just punch these values and you can see both the values are satisfying the original equation. Correct? And this is a solution. As you can see, only one line was there in this question, otherwise nothing. Clear? Any other doubt? Okay, let's go ahead. I'm sorry Adya if you can't hear me. I just checked at my place because my live YouTube video is also being run, so I can clearly hear the voice. I'm really sorry guys. You can just check your system if anything wrong with you guys or anything wrong with the system. Let's move ahead. Okay, solve the equation. Adya, if you have missed out anything, if you have any doubt, you can just ask me. I'll just go back and I'll try to make you understand if you missed something. So in this question, you have to solve this equation. 4x plus 6x is equal to 9x. And again, I give you guys 30 seconds. And again, if you try to solve it like a previous question, you won't be able to. Just be smart enough. Because why I'm telling you this? See here. 4 square, then you have this 6 square. You get what? 16, 36. Nothing is, see, even can't be equal to odd square. Or if you try to have more power, no. Let's say cubic also, this will be even thing, this will be even thing, but this will be what? Odd thing. So you have to, just experience all these things. So this is not going to work that way. Just think out of the box. Think out of the box. Okay. So again, I give you guys 30 seconds. The time starts now. Yes, Adya, I'm waiting, not an issue. Come on guys, if you have another doubt apart from these questions, you can just also ask. Okay, your time's up. Okay, let's start solving this question. So as I told you, when you were trying other things, other methods like what we used in previous question, it would not work that way. So let's try to analyze this question. See, as I can see, the square of 3, square of 2 is written here, and the square of 2, see, 2's multiplication, this 2 and 3 are being multiplied here. Square of 2, square of 3 are being presented here, and this 2 and 3 are being multiplied here in this term. That means it seems like as if it is somewhat you can say a quadratic expression in twice of x and thrice of x. It seems like that. So that's how I approach this question. So 2 square x plus twice of x into thrice of x is equal to thrice of square. So this can be further written as 2x raised 2x square plus 2x into 3x is equal to 3x whole square. Clear? Now when you divide, let's say I divide this equation by 2 raised to x square, so it becomes 2x by 3x by 2x whole square plus 3x by 2x, clear, is equal to, it becomes minus here and becomes again minus 1 is equal to 0. Clear? Now as you can see, it seems like as if we are dealing with a quadratic expression in 3 raised to x upon 2 raised to x. You can just, let's say, substitute it as t. When you do that, it becomes what? T square minus t minus 1 is equal to 0. So your t is what? Minus 1 plus minus b square 1 plus 4ac upon 2. So what do you get? Minus 1 plus minus root 5 by 2. Now tell me one thing guys. This plus or minus, which root is possible here? Any guesses? Answer is log, yes, Adya, yes, absolutely right. What you have done is, so this negative root is not possible. The reason is very simple. See, t is what? An exponential number. So this is always what? Greater than 0. If you remember the range of an exponential function, that is what? The graph was like this. Range was always greater than 0. So I can't take this number for sure. This is not possible. The only case possible here is minus 1 root 5 by 2. If I use that, so what do I see? So 3 by 2 raised to x is equal to minus 1 plus root 5 by 2. I can take this log of base 3 by 2 on both the sides, and what do I see? I see x is equal to log base 3 by 2 minus 1 plus root 5 by 2. Clear? Any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can just leave a comment. Okay, let's move ahead further. We have been given another question where a is lesser than c and c is lesser than b. Then we have to check the nature of the roots of the equation a minus b whole square into x square plus twice of a plus b minus 2c into x plus 1 is equal to 0. And what all the given informations are there? So one given information is this. That's it. Then we have to comment on the nature of the roots. That means we have to talk about the discriminant. That's it. So why don't we just calculate discriminant and see whether it will be greater than 0 or lesser than 0 or equal to 0. Let's do that. And you have to just simply use this given information. That's it. It's a very easy question, but it requires a lot of knowledge. That's it. Knowledge as in terms of manipulation and simplifying things. Adya, Shivam, yes, you guys can solve the question. I give you guys again. Right now I'll give you 45 seconds because it needs a bit of simplification. Don't worry, Adya, I am giving you time. You can just solve the question. It's okay. Okay, so let's start calculating your discriminant here. So discriminant is what? B square. So that is 4 times a plus b minus 2c whole square. So a square plus b square plus twice of ab plus 4c square minus 4ca minus 4cb. This is your b square minus 4ac. So 4 times ac. So ac is what? 1 into a minus b whole square. So a square plus b square minus twice of a b. Okay, so let's take 4 as common. So what do I get? A square minus b square, these terms will cancel out. So I'll be left with twice of ab plus 4c square minus 4ca minus 4cb, and it will be what? Plus twice of ab. So what do I see? I can take 4 as common once again, so it will become 16 times c square minus ca minus cb plus ab. Now let's do one thing. I'll take, let's say, c common. I'll try to factorize this. So if I take c common, I get c minus a, and from here if I try to take b common, so I get c minus a again, and this can be further written as 16 into c minus b into c minus a. Let's use what is given here, our given information. So c minus b, so c minus b will be what? Negative, because we are subtracting bigger number from small number. The c minus a will be positive. So negative into positive will be negative. So discriminant is less than 0. That means we'll be having imaginary roots, or you can say complex roots. Yeah, okay, that's really good, Adya. You got the right answer. We'll move to our next question. If alpha, beta, gamma, and delta are the roots of the equation, so fourth order equation is given to you, then we have to find the value of 1 plus alpha square into 1 plus beta square into 1 plus gamma square into 1 plus delta square. Now, from my end, when you try to solve this question, what would you prefer? Would you prefer calculating alpha, beta, and gamma separately and then put their values here? I would say no. Obviously, because we don't know how to solve a fourth order polynomial and it will take a lot of time. That means there is something else. But when you see this 1 plus alpha, 1 plus beta, and this 1 plus gamma, 1 plus delta terms, what do you understand? You understand as if we have to somehow use factor form. It gives you that sort of feel. Correct? When it gives you that sort of feel, so why don't we write that? And this can be further written as x minus alpha, x minus beta, and x minus gamma, and x minus delta. Till here, I have given you the hint and I have given you how to initiate the question. Now tell me, how would you like to approach this question? What do you understand? What do you think, how you should approach this question from now on? Any guesses, Shivam and Adya? Okay, so one thing I know people must have tried, but they must have put x as 1. So when you put x as 1, what do you get? 1 minus alpha, 1 minus beta, 1 minus gamma, 1 plus delta. And when you put x is equal to minus 1, you will get what? You can take minus common, so you'll get what? 1 plus alpha, 1 plus beta, 1 plus gamma, and 1 plus delta. If you try to multiply both the terms, do you think you'll get 1 plus alpha square? No, you will get 1 minus alpha square. So that means your approach here would go wrong here. So what you can do is, instead of 1, why don't you try putting iota and minus. When you put that, because when iota gets multiplied to minus iota, it would give you what? Plus 1 term, right? And that would create your answer. So when you put x as iota, you get what? 1 minus 4 iota plus 6, and this is your 7 times iota, minus 9 is equal to iota times iota minus alpha, iota minus beta, iota minus gamma, iota minus delta. When you put, you can solve it further and it becomes what? It becomes thrice of iota and 6, 7 minus 2, so thrice of iota minus 2. When I put x is equal to minus iota, what do I get? I get 1 minus 1 is there because of this minus iota, and iota cubes would give you minus 1 as well, so it will become plus 4 times iota. Then you have minus 6 only, because iota minus iota square is what? Minus will become plus, and from there you will get minus iota square would give you minus 1, it will become plus. Then you have got minus 7 iota minus 9 is equal to what? Minus iota minus alpha. I'll be taking minus sign in common so that it will become plus here. So I'll have iota plus beta again, so minus minus will become plus. Similarly, from the last two terms, if I take minus common, so again I'll get plus. And this is what? This is minus thrice of iota and this is again minus 2. Now let's say this is equation number 1 and equation number 2. When you multiply both of them, what do you see? You see a square minus b square. So iota square is what? Minus 1. So minus 1 minus alpha square. Similarly, minus 1 minus beta square. So what I'll do is I'll just take minus sign common from both the terms. Eventually I'll get 1 plus alpha square, 1 plus beta square. Similarly, from the last two terms as well, 1 plus gamma square and 1 plus delta square. That would be equal to what? I'll take minus sign common. Again, a square minus b square term. So what do I see? 9 iota square minus 4. So this gives me what? Minus 9, minus 4, minus 13. True. So eventually I'll get 13. Clear? Any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can just ask. Okay, let's move to our next question. Before that, we have something to study. So here we have to find, so here we are studying relationship between roots and coefficients. So as I told you that every quadratic equation has two roots. Let's say these two roots are alpha and beta. So these summation of roots is what? Minus b by a, and product of these two roots are c by a. You can simply just say whatever roots you're getting as minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, you can just add them, you can multiply them, you get these two terms easily. Now if I try to rewrite this quadratic equation, let's say this quadratic equation is being represented by like this. I divide this by a, so I get x square plus b by a, x is equal to c by a is equal to 0. And I know that product of roots is what? C by a. My summation of roots is what? Minus b by a. So let's substitute them here. So what do I see? I see that this becomes summation of roots into x and plus product of roots is equal to 0. So that's how also I can write the quadratic equation. If at all I come to know what is the product of root, what is the sum of roots, I can just write the equation easily. Here now, based on these two information, so I can say whenever I get quadratic equation, I get these two informations by default very easily. So it's always present whenever I have been given a quadratic equation. Now using these two information, sometimes we get these sort of questions. People give you these sort of expressions for say a cube plus b alpha cube plus beta cube, and you have to find their values. Now tell me one thing, see, you have been given summation of roots and product of roots. So how to use these two given information to find this alpha cube plus beta cube? So here again we try to use our mathematical knowledge, we try to simplify it. So how can we do that? So the factorization of this is what? Alpha plus beta into alpha square minus alpha beta plus beta square. Now see, whatever is known to you, you are not going to change that. Leave it as it is. Whatever is unknown, we'll try to convert it in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha into beta. So see, I'm not going to change this, I'm not going to change this. I'll be changing alpha square and beta square. So what I'll be doing here is, I'll be writing alpha square plus beta square like this. Alpha plus beta whole square minus twice of alpha beta. And what do I get? Alpha plus beta into alpha plus beta whole square minus thrice of alpha beta. Clear? So now as you can see, this is written in summation of roots and in terms of product of roots. Similarly, you can have multiple things, multiple terms like alpha minus beta. Someone might give you alpha raised to 4 minus beta raised to 4, maybe alpha raised to 4 plus beta raised to 4. So you have to be open for all sort of terms, and you should be very clear that yes, I have to use my mathematical knowledge to get the answer here. Here, let's go ahead and start solving more questions. So this question, if alpha and beta are the roots of the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So this equation has got two roots, alpha and beta. Then we have to find the equation of the roots of the equation ax square plus bx into x minus 1 plus c x minus 1 whole square is equal to 0 in terms of alpha and beta. Now again I give you guys 45 seconds to solve this question, and again a hint in this question, just before start solving this, just give almost 15-20 seconds to think about the question. If you're planning to solve it, like just let's expand this term in x square term, then find x's coefficient, and then your constant term is equal to 0, then you'll write the roots and then you'll try to convert them in terms of alpha and beta. Trust me guys, it is going to take a lot of time, and I personally would not like you to waste that time. So be smart enough. So what you can do here is, see, if you look at these two equations, what do you see? You see as if these terms are as it is, these constant terms are as it is. If I can convert this into like this, I divided the entire equation by x minus 1 whole square. This is the same equation. If let's say this x minus x upon x minus 1 is t. So what do I see? I see a t square plus b t plus c is equal to 0. Correct? This is what? This is again the same quadratic expression, and this will also have roots alpha and beta. So that clearly means that x upon x minus 1 will be what? Equal to alpha, or x upon x minus 1 will be equal to beta. So if I try to solve it, what do I get? X is equal to alpha x minus alpha. So this x will be equal to what? Minus alpha, alpha upon 1 minus alpha, alpha minus 1. It will become alpha minus 1. Similarly, my another root would be beta upon beta minus 1. That's it. So what do you think? It's an easy question, correct? But again, it requires you to think for 15-20 seconds. And trust me guys, in IIT, no one is asking you to just solve question for 4-5 minutes. Though they would never give you difficult calculations. Never. They all want you to be just attentive, analyze the question, and then solve it. Let's move ahead and solve one more question. If sum of the roots of a quadratic equation is 2 and sum of their cubes is 98, then we have to find the equation. Okay, again, if you just read this question, let's write down the given information. Sum of the roots are given to you, which is 2, and sum of the cubes is 98 is given, and then you have to find the equation. See, to write the equation, what do you need? Product of roots and summation of roots. So see, one information is already given to you. You have to find the another information. And for that, they have given you this condition. That's it. Easy question. Okay, I give you guys again 30 seconds and solve this question. Adya, okay, Adya left. It's okay. We have got Shivam with us. So Shivam, yes, you can solve the question. Okay, so time is up. Let's solve this question. So it is given to me that, or it is given to us that sum of the roots is what? Alpha plus beta is what? It is given to us. What else is given to us? Alpha cube plus beta cube is what? 98. Now this can be further written as, because see, if you remember, I told you one thing. They would give you random terms. It's our knowledge how exactly we can convert this into summation and product of roots. So alpha plus beta, so again 2 alpha plus beta square, so 4 minus twice of alpha beta, and minus alpha beta by default is there in this equation. So thrice of alpha beta is equal to 98. If I solve it, what do I get? 4 minus thrice of alpha beta is equal to 49. So it would become what? Minus thrice alpha beta is equal to what? 45. As you can see, alpha beta would become minus 15. So product of roots is also known to me. So my equation would be x square minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. That's it. Done. It was an easy question. See, today if you just look at, everything is easy. Everything is easy. It's just you need to use your basic knowledge. That's it. And that will also happen in other questions also. And trust me guys, these are the questions you find in JEE mains. Some other questions are JEE advanced also. But you know, you should understand this thing. In IIT, no one wants to give you difficult question, as in the difficult, or you can say hard calculation based question. No, they want you to check your concepts, and they want to check your concepts in such a manner that you can solve bigger question using a simpler method. And that comes with when you analyze the questions, with the analysis, with the experience. With every question you just sit and think, okay, so by one method I can solve, by this method another method is also there. Then you have to make a list, you have to choose an optimum path. Let's go ahead and solve another question. If the roots of a quadratic equation, okay, so this is the quadratic equation, are such that at least one of them is greater than 2, at least one of them is greater than 2, then find the values of A. Okay, so again I give you guys 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, I would give you 30 seconds or 45 seconds to solve this question. If you have any doubt, you can just ask. So I rejoined in 2 minutes. Okay, so Adya, you can try solving this question. Okay guys, any idea how are you planning to solve this question? See, the very same question we can solve when I'll talk about positioning of roots also. You can solve that question using that approach. But I want, see, whatever the basic knowledge we have, can we solve this question using the basic knowledge what we gained today? Well, that's my concern, because that's how you become, you know, rich, as in you start grilling your mind. So try solving this question. See, generally people would solve this question using a positioning of roots question approach, but I wanted to solve using whatever we studied today. Guys, okay, let's solve this question. So one thing, it says if the roots of a quadratic equation this are such that at least one of them is greater than 2. First of all, we have to make sure that roots should be real. You see, it says greater than 2. We understand, yes, we will apply that condition also, but before that, we have to make sure that roots are real. For that, discriminant should be greater equal to 0. If we do that, so what do I get? A square plus 9 minus 6a minus 4ac, 4a. Here, greater equal to 0. Here, a square minus 10a plus 9 greater equal to 0. So what do I get? A minus 9, a minus 9, then a minus 1 greater equal to 0. So I have got, see, if I just draw these 2 points on real number line, so I get this interval and this interval. A belongs to minus infinity to 1 union 9 to infinity. Clear? Any doubts? Okay, perfect. So this is the condition which for the real roots. Now the thing is, at least one of them is greater than 2. At least one of them is greater than 2. Just imagine, let's try to see. So I'll have, if I just see the roots, what is that? A minus 3 plus minus b square minus 4ac. So I'll get what? A square minus 10a plus 9 upon 2. Now I have got 2 roots. Now tell me one thing. So shall I take plus 1 or shall I take minus 1? Any guesses? See, it says at least one of them is greater than 2. So what I can do is the positive one. So I can say that positive one is beyond 2. So at least it will have at least 1. And if we take, let's say, negative 1, so negative 1, if we make, let's say if I write a minus 3 minus this by 2 greater than 2, it will clearly mean that both of them are more than 2. Why? Because see, if I draw this parabola, so this negative one would be this and positive one would be this. If I clearly say that this needs to be what? More than, this needs to be more than 2. So this will make sure that we have one root positive. But if I say that, let's say this is also more than 2, in that case, see, when I put 2 here and I say this is more than 2, what does that mean? I am making sure that both of them are more than this 2. But if I put 2 somewhere in between, and when I say this is more than 2, the positive one is more than 2, that means this negative one could be or could not be more than 2, at least for a case. So this case is clarified. So let's use that. A minus 3 plus a square minus 10a plus 9 by 2, this should be more than 2. So this is 2 here. So what I'll do is I'll just multiply, cross multiply, because this is a positive number. So without changing the inequality sign, I can just cross multiply it. What do I get? A minus 3 plus root a square minus 10a plus 9 more than 4. So this can be further written as root a square minus 10a plus 9 more than, this is 7 minus a. Here, any doubts? Let's go ahead further. And when I square both the sides, what do I get? A square minus 10a plus 9 more than 49 plus a square minus 14a. So a square will cancel out. So I get what? 14 will come here, so I'll get 4a, and this would go here. So I get what? I get this 9 would come here, so I'll get 40. So 4a is greater than 40. Here, so I get a should be greater than 10. Clear? So now as you can see that one set says this a to have real roots we have to have 1 to this minus infinity to 1, then your 9 to infinity. So this is our domain, and from here it clearly says that we have to have a's value more than 10. This is our solution set. So a's values, they have to be more than 10, then only we'll be able to get our solution. Yeah, a needs to be more than 10, so 10 to infinity. Any doubts? If you have any doubts, yes, you are free to ask. I'll solve the question for you. Any doubts? Come on, Adya, Shivam, if you have any doubts, you are free to ask. Okay, so now we'll just again what we do every time, we'll just close our eyes and we'll try to recall everything whatever we studied today, so that it retains in our mind in a better condition. So just close your eyes, guys, and let's think about how we approached questions, how we solved them. And let's talk about the polynomial function. How can we write this polynomial function in terms of factor form when we want to write it in terms of roots, and when we want to write it in terms of divisor and quotient and remainder. And then a specific case of polynomial function is a quadratic function when n is equal to 2. We get what sort of roots, we get what sort of you can say identities. When it becomes identity, when we have more than 2 roots, it becomes an identity. The geometrical interpretation of a quadratic function, the geometrical interpretation of roots as well, and then product of roots, summation of roots, and how to solve questions based on them. So you just recall every single thing. Sorry guys, stop. There is a small mistake which I committed, I guess, and no one stopped me, I guess. No, sorry. Yes, there was no mistake. It just, I felt it. Okay. So that's it. This is all for today. And thanks a lot for being there, and thanks a lot for showing the patience and making this class interactive and interesting. I will be very happy if you can ask more questions and get your doubts solved. So this is a goodbye from me for today, and I thank you all. If you have liked the class, so just please like it, share it with your friends, and do subscribe JEE Quest and Let's Crack JEE in English channel, because if you want to have my videos on time, it's better you subscribe it. Whenever I'll be coming live, you'll always come to know. And if you want to have better experience while studying, go and do subscribe Unacademy Plus and Unacademy Iconic Subscription, whichever you feel good. And a small gift from my end, you can use NK001 code and you'll get 10% off. So do remember, this is NK001. This is you need to use. Okay, so goodbye, take care.